Welcome back. The Department of Justice is suing Texas over the state's new abortion law that prohibits abortions after 6 weeks, well before many women even know they're pregnant. The lawsuit argues the law is unconstitutional under longstanding Supreme Court precedent. It was filed last week in federal court in Texas, but could go all the way to the high court within weeks. So here to discuss the lawsuit is Josh Blackman, a constitutional law professor at South Texas College of Law, Houston. Josh, tell us more about the lawsuit.
Well, the Texas law is unique, so the lawsuit is unique. As many of you know, the Texas law is not actually enforced by the government. It's enforced by private parties. So what Texas basically had to do is sue everyone in Texas, and that includes every person who might bring a lawsuit. And that's actually not just people in Texas. A person in New York or Oklahoma or Florida could bring a lawsuit. So basically, the United States has sued the entire world, right? Any human being who could bring a lawsuit is subject to this case.
So the Supreme Court has already been asked to weigh in on the Texas abortion ban once, and the justices voted not to intervene. If the case does make its way to the high court, what makes this time different?
I'm not sure it is. To be clear, when the justices ruled a few weeks ago, the law had not yet gone into effect, so it's premature. Also, the plaintiffs had sued a single judge in Texas. It's not clear that the court could have even granted the relief that Planned Parenthood sought. Now it's a little bit different. The United States has more power, and they can actually sue the entire state of Texas. I still don't think it's going to be enough with this court.
So is there a timeline for when the lawsuit might reach the Supreme Court? And if it does, what outcome do you expect?
It might take a few weeks. So we're now at mid-September, maybe by November, Thanksgiving-ish, maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe get a ruling by the end of the year. But I think it's going to be a bit of a long slog. It's not like going to be a 24-hour deal like before.
So what does this mean for other abortion laws? The Supreme Court is reviewing, such as Mississippi's ban on most abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy.
These cases are closely related. If the Supreme Court upholds the 15-week ban from Mississippi, the Texas law becomes a much stronger footing because then Texas could do much the same. The Texas law is what we call a trigger law. It sort of exists and it waits for the Supreme Court to do stuff. And if the Supreme Court expands or actually constricts abortion precedents, then the law actually becomes even more far-reaching. So it sort of floats around waiting for the Supreme Court to act.
Finally, do you think this lawsuit will scare off other states from implementing similar bans on abortion, or do you think it'll take its course and other states might fall in?
I think some other states might welcome a federal lawsuit. It's good for politics.
My last question to you, what has it been like in Texas after this went through?
I think by a large measure, many of the clinics have transformed from abortion clinics to travel agencies. They're basically arranging travel for women out of state. Of course, not all women can secure travel out of state for a host of reasons, but I think that's been the immediate reaction so far.
When it comes to the bounties we've heard about, what has been the reaction down there and what has been done with them?
No one has filed a lawsuit yet because abortions have stopped. As far as I know, not a single lawsuit has been filed. There's been no $10,000 penalties awarded. Everyone's just sort of waiting to see what happens with the courts, but there have been no lawsuits filed in any court.
Wow. Josh Blackman, a constitutional law professor at South Texas College of Law, Houston. Sir, thank you so much for being with us this morning.